Good morning, everybody. This is John Ellis and Alex Rican Gonzalez with Glass in the Class on this beautiful Thursday. Our special guest today is Larry Fournellier. Larry is the owner of Island Cuisine. He lives in Trinidad, Tobago. Yes, we are all jealous of that. There's Larry. Say hello, Larry. And
Hey,
so Larry is on the Google suggested user list. He's built a following of more than 1 million people on Google using Hangouts and connecting. Larry has several shows and is a pioneer of the Hangout space with How to Cook Caribbean, kids stories, food stories. I'm sorry, Kids in the Kitchen, right, Larry? That was the one.
that's
And
correct.
you're working on another one that you can tell Alex all about. I had the pleasure of meeting Larry last year at the Denver Hurl and finding out about how amazing he is with not just global mass communication, but certainly interpersonal communication. This is how Larry has built his following base. I'm going to let Alex take it over. Our teacher, Alex, it is your class. This is interpersonal communication at Kent State University.
Wow, you just stole literally everything I was going to say. Hello everybody out there. We are at Kent State, and we haven't gotten to talk about interpersonal communication yet this week because my students have been giving their persuasive speeches. So today is really the first day that we get to talk about that topic, but they did do an assignment about it, and I thought, who better to talk about interpersonal communication than Larry Fournillier, one of the most personable people in Plus that I've met so far, and someone that can build a following of over 1 million people must know a little bit about interpersonal communication and relationship building. So, Larry, before we start, is there anything that John missed that you'd like to tell my class about yourself?
No, it's just not much to say about me. Just a little guy from the Caribbean who loves to have a good time and have fun. Good morning, class.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Nice. I know it's very early, and the weather is probably cold up there. It's very warm here. It's a beautiful day. Good for the beach, but I don't want to rub it in. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys.
Awesome, awesome. So, like I said, you're someone that has built a following of over 1 million people. So, how do you see interpersonal communication today? You know, a lot of times we think about interpersonal communication in a face-to-face setting, but would you? I think you might disagree with that a little bit.
Yeah, well, true to some extent, but I guess a little history about myself. I've always been a very sociable person. Actually, I was referred to prior to internet age as a social butterfly. That was the term given to folks who would walk into a room and light up the party and meet people, just saying hi and start communicating. I've always been like that, and being a private chef, when I have to prepare my dishes for my clients, that in itself, I have to get personal. I'm talking about personal communication in real life now. I have to listen to them, hear what they want, and deliver. And because of my open nature, they pretty much flock to me, and I make people feel comfortable when I first meet them. I put them at ease, and I just love to meet people and love to communicate. And transferring that now to the online space, when I first came on Google Plus, it was in the beta stages, and like I said, here in the Caribbean, I would cook a meal, a dish, take a photo, post it online, let people see and experience what I am experiencing here in the Caribbean. That time there was no Hangouts on air, so I started to build a little gathering with foodies who liked what they saw, liked communicating with me, and then I started to go into Hangouts, just regular Hangouts, and just meeting people. Like I said, I would walk into a room and just meet and greet. So fast forwarding now, I did my first Hangout on Air back in 2012, February 26th to be exact, 2012. And again, my personality, no experience on television or video for that matter. I just jumped in and did it. I had somebody cooking who lived in Illinois, more than 3,000 miles away, actually close to 5,000 miles, and from where I am. And they were cooking a Caribbean dish. One of my recipes that I sent to them before the airing of the show, because the show was live every Sunday through a Hangout like this, but it's called a Hangouts on Air. And they prepared the meal with my instructions, with me sitting right here and telling them how to cook the food. And it was an experience that they never had before. They never cooked Caribbean, they never ate Caribbean food, and it was a win. Again, I communicated. And I guess I communicated well. The show was a hit. Everybody loved it. Google liked it so much that they put me on the SUL. And then my following started to grow. But with that, I always communicated with everyone and anyone who would comment on my posts, comment on my videos. I always took the time, and that is important. Because you could have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers. Anybody who comes up to you and tells you, "Oh, great job," or just say, "Lovely," on your post, communicate, talk, and I think that is the recipe or the key to my success. I love communicating. I love meeting people, and I wouldn't have it any other way, to be quite honest with you.
So, as a chef, do you think that interpersonal communication is really important, or do you think that you could get away with not communicating the way that you do?
No, communication is the key to, I would say, it's part of our existence. As humans, we are tactile beings. We like to touch, we like to feel, and communication is part of that. When you communicate with something or someone, you get a feeling. You look into their eyes, you see their expressions based on what you're saying to them or what they're saying to you. So it's a connection, and I think Hangouts bring this out well. Even though I'm not in your physical space, I am still communicating with you. I'm emoting. You possibly feeling, might be going to sleep or whatever. I don't know. But the fact is, whether I'm a chef or any profession, any walk of life, you have to communicate. Communication is the key, and that's what I do. I think that's what I do best.
Well, I'd agree with that. I mean, we met. How long ago was it now?
Yeah, we met during the Denver Hurl. I was in September, and we met actually through the Hangout, and it was through John Ellis.
Yes, it was. Hey,
because,
Alex, do me a favor and stand back by the table, and then you can continue, guys. And yes, Larry, it was through the Denver Hurl. Go on.
This tape, like the one by the camera?
Yeah, so we can see you.
You're kind of off camera now.
That's your camera. We need to be able to see you.
I don't want to block my students, but
Look at him over there, but we got you in the camera. There we go. All right.
Yeah, I met Alex through John and through the Denver Hurl. And for those of you who don't know what a hurl is a hangout in real life, not upchucking. But anyway, we met through there, and we became very good friends. Like I said, even though we haven't met physically, I haven't been in Alex's space physically. She hasn't been in my space physically. But through this hangout, and through our communicating via posts and comments on Google Plus, we have created I think, I can safely say, a very, very good bond and friendship. And it's, again, through communicating. If I wasn't a good communicator, I think Alex would probably not have taken the time to say the nice things that she said. and if I was not responsive, I would probably miss this opportunity to meet a wonderful person. So, like I said, and what I alluded to earlier, especially if somebody's reaching out to you on a post or a comment, always take the time to respond, to communicate, because you could make a world of a difference. Trust me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you still, I mean, you don't only communicate online. You still have clients that you are working with in the Caribbean, correct? That you do talk to face to face.
Yeah, like if I have to prepare food for a particular client, right? I have to communicate with him or her, hear what they want, and prepare that dish, because they also my communicating with them and listening to them is going to affect the outcome of their party or their gathering, which I'm preparing food for. So in real life, I have to listen, I have to communicate, and that transcends itself to me getting the next gig from them, or they referring me to their friends, or the people who come to their parties like the food, and they will then in turn hire me to cook at their parties. So I build a network in real life through my cooking and through communicating, and the same way I do it online through my videos and through my posts that I communicate with people all over the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so, like I said, if you can make it relevant, I think it can be relevant to any profession.
Yeah.
Who has a question? Joseph?
Well, when it comes to cooking for people and cooking as a form of expression versus other forms like reading and writing for reading and things of that sort, I feel that cooking is the most physical and just the most physical form of expression that probably is available. And also, people need to eat. But how do you feel that this advantage has helped you communicate? Has helped you with interpersonal communication?
Okay, you said it. What's your name?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your question. Good question, by the way, and you made a good point. Yes, I got a good niche. People love to eat, so yes. that helps me to express my passion, and that's another key thing too. I am passionate about what I do, so regardless of what it is, I think if you bring passion to the game and you bring passion to what you're doing, people pick that up and people realize it, and that will draw them to you. So to answer your question though, as far as the interpersonal communication through cooking, yes, when you have a party at home or anywhere, people usually gather and come to the kitchen. That's where most of the conversation begins or starts or ends, for that matter, because eating is community, and once you build that community around you, meet your friends in the kitchen. They're watching, seeing what you're doing, and what you're doing is going to satisfy their soul, satisfy them. Uh, I think, yes, I am lucky in that I do have a passion for cooking, and I have made a gathering, gotten a gathering, a community built around me through that. But with anything else, if you're a doctor, if you're a sports figure, if you are a writer, if you have a passion for it and you do it well, you can easily build a community around you, because people want that. People want to belong, especially if you're doing something good. They want to be part of that. So,
Larry, can I just, Alex, if I could just make a statement. Larry, could you tell the kids the difference with your hangouts? You don't actually do the cooking. And I want them, because to me, that's a big part of the communication.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here's my hangout. I'm here in Trinidad. The person, they're across the world somewhere. Whether it's the United States, Europe, just had somebody in Australia do a dish. But anyway, I would send them a recipe. They would get the ingredients, and then I would sit here through the hangout and walk them through step by step until they finish the dish, live, online. If they're messing up, I can tell them, hey, you forgot to add this. If they're doing something good, they have immediate feedback. So I am constantly communicating with them through the hangout. And at the end of the day, they're going to complete a dish, a tasty dish that they never cooked before, and I'm sure they're going to cook it again. So yes, through hangouts and through this medium, I'm able to communicate in real time to the folks who are attempting the dish. Yeah, John, good point. Forgot about that.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. If someone, Chuck. By the way, Larry, Chuck is my chef in class. I do have a chef in this class, so.
Nice.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
My name's Chuck. I want to know, what do you think the effect of cooking shows have on society? And do you think it over glamorizes what really goes on in the kitchen environment?
Well, I know in a kitchen environment, in like I say, in a restaurant, in some of those biggest other establishments where there's a process to get the food from the kitchen to the table. That is fast-paced. It's a lot going on. There's noise. There's concentration. I think showing that live, even though it might be useful, but I think it could be very, I hate to use the word distracting, but somebody who's watching it for the first time could be a little disconcerting for them. You being a chef, I being a chef, we know what takes place behind the scenes, and showing that in a hangout, even though it's a good idea, but it could be a little disconcerting. If you focus and you say, all right, this particular chef is going to be doing something in the kitchen behind the scenes, and you have your sous chefs and your line chef running behind, and there's noise and distraction. I can see that being maybe a recorded something, and then you view it later. But a live session, it might be a little bit too chaotic. But if you want to do a cooking show, you could easily stand up in your kitchen, get some cameras on you, and you can broadcast to the world in a hangout, and have folks in the hangout watch you while you cook in the hangout. So I think that way it's more personable, and people get to know who you are, right? Because that's what you want, and you want to communicate what you're doing to them out there, to the world. Okay, Chuck?
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, Larry. Well, my students have to run to their
Okay.
next class or just, away from me for the weekend.
But
But
someone behind you is raising their hand.
Oh, just waving, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
it's waving. Okay.
yeah. But thank you so much for coming into my classroom and talking to my students. Maybe we woke them up a little bit for their next classes.
Well, hopefully. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
mug.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. This has been Glass in the Class with our special guest, Larry Fournellier, the Caribbean chef. Find Larry on Google Plus and on YouTube. And if you are interested in connecting with us and Glass in the Class, hit Alex or I up in the SUI's community. Find Glass in the Class on Google Plus. Thank you very much. Everybody have a great day.